The coaching carousel is starting to speed up by the day as the regular season ends and conference championship week is upon us. Now, there will be more jobs that open and close as we go, but there have already been two very significant hires made by household name brands in college football already. Matt Rhule looks to resurrect Nebraska, and Luke Fickell just left Cincinnati for Wisconsin, who we all know has a ton of potential. So, who made the best hire between the two? The answer is pretty obvious. It's Luke Fickell. But Rhule's been able to put lipstick on a pig at both Temple and Baylor, but he's going to be expected to win all the big games he plays right now. Maybe not from the start, but going forward, Nebraska expects championships. Now, Fickell, on the other hand, is the ultimate college head football coach. He fits into that tough Wisconsin mindset and will now be able to play bully ball for real if he plays his cards right. Now, I don't think the question really is which hire is better. The bigger question is, what will former interim Wisconsin head coach Jim Leonhard do now? Didn't they fire Paul Chryst so he could have the keys and take over the castle? Someone is about to get a hell of a DC either way. But as far as Nebraska and Cincinnati goes, give me Cincinnati on the win by the hire. How surprised were you that that Luke Fickell left Cincinnati to go to Wisconsin, considering you thought Jim Leonhard was the heir apparent, right? He pulled the sword out of the stone.
So on Luke Fickell's side, I was a little bit surprised just because it sounded like his name was in the hat for even bigger jobs last season, like Blaine was talking about, and seems like he was committed to Cincinnati. They made the playoff last year, and now they're joining the Big 12. So I thought he was probably going to stay with Cincinnati now that they're going to be a Power 5 school. But him going to Wisconsin, he's a Big 10 guy. That didn't surprise me as much as them hiring him, because I thought the whole reason you got rid of Paul Chryst was, like you said, because you had Jim Leonhard in waiting. That's why I thought. Now I'm very, very confused, because Paul Chryst did not do a bad job at Wisconsin. I mean, this was like the first, I think, losing season that they had, and they got rid of him
Paul Chryst,
early in the year.
That situation kind of reminds me of the Malzahn situation at Auburn a little bit.
Okay.
I think there's some parallels there. You've guys had success. You're looking at trajectory maybe. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin offensively had been absolute hot dog water the past couple of years and didn't seem to be getting better, and there didn't seem to be adjustments. So I think maybe it was a trajectory thing. But like you, I thought they pulled the ripcord because they were like, look, Jim Leonhard's going to leave if we don't do this.
Yes.
Like, we're going to lose our only opportunity to get him. The thing with Luke Fickell, this kind of reminds me, and I like to make comparisons, metaphors, analogies, whatever you want to use. It's kind of like, it's like all of a sudden, you're a normal guy. You've been dating this girl for 3 years, something like that. Everybody, thinks she's the one. Y'all are going to get married, whatever. All of a sudden, you get famous. Okay, something happens. You invent time travel or something. You get famous, and you dump her to go be with Selena Gomez. That's what I felt like. Because I feel like
Selena Gomez in this, though?
Wisconsin compared to Cincinnati. We're talking about Wisconsin is the celebrity right now. Cincinnati just moved up. They just moved up status. They're going to go Power 5. Not saying they're not going to hit the ground running. We've talked about how good of a place that is to coach, how good of a market that is, how easy it is to recruit in that area, especially offensive linemen. But it just seems to me like Luke Fickell, like Selena Gomez, hit him up on Instagram a couple nights ago and was like, listen, I like the way you move. I like the things you do. You want to be together. And he said, look, how many times am I going to get a chance to get DM to be with Selena Gomez? I know it's working out over here, but let's go take a shot at the big, because guys, Wisconsin, you can win in Wisconsin. And look at the Big Ten.
Sure.
Look at the Big Ten. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan, and it's Penn State. And it's nobody else. It's nobody else right now.
Well, Wisconsin, obviously, Wisconsin's won, many Big Ten
and you're in the
championships
West.
just in the past 10 years.
You're in the Big Ten West.
In that scenario, that analogy to me, OSU would be Selena Gomez, because that's where he ultimately wanted to be, and he was the interim coach.
That's Rihanna.
Look, he's going to go be a head coach in the Big Ten. I get it. It's from the other side that I was a little bit more surprised. So what does Jim Leonhard do now?
Goes to Cincinnati.
That'd be the head coach?
That would be hilarious.
To be the head coach? That would be funny.
If I'm Cincinnati, no, it's spite. Like, I'm the girl that just got left. Where's your brother? Like, I'm keeping it in the family. I want you to see me at gatherings when it falls off a cliff with Selena Gomez. I'm going to be right there. I'm going to be right there happy with your brother.
And you've been working out.
It's just a lot been going on. All of a sudden, your diet changes. Skin's better. Just a lot. That's what
your skincare routine and stuff like that. Well, the thing about ever bringing up Selena Gomez, Luke got offered good jobs last year. Maybe not fully offered, but was in the mix. Notre Dame,
yeah,
was in the mix. I don't think he took that because Cincinnati was in the college football playoff. You had Michigan State reach out to him. So I don't know why now's the time. I don't know if it was a timing thing for him, but I think both these are good hires. Do I think Luke Fickell's the better hire. Yeah, but I mean, but let's not doubt what Matt Rhule's done. I mean, he took a 2-10 Temple team in 2013 to 10-4 in 2016.
Yeah,
AAC championship. Also taking Baylor from on a 1-10 team, 1-11 team to an 11-3 team, and winning a bowl game. Is he the best recruiter? No. But that's the difference, I think, him and Luke Fickell. I mean, Luke Fickell's put out 14 guys in the NFL at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That same time Luke was at Cincinnati, Wisconsin put out 12 guys.
Yeah.
All right, so you're getting, and 7-5 against Power 5 teams, but look at the people he lost to. Luke Fickell's lost to Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and Bama. Yeah. You know, so you put him somewhere to really where he can really go. He can let loose, take the shackles off, kind of recruit, get guys
in the back.
At Wisconsin, and you have somewhat of a pulse of an offense. You will run that side of the Big Ten.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, Purdue won it by the hair of their chinny chin chin. You scored 10 points against Iowa, you're going to win by 9. When I look at Matt Rhule, I think Matt Rhule is a good coach. But I don't think Nebraska needed a good coach. I think Nebraska needed an elite coach. I think Nebraska needed somebody that when they hired him, kids said, I don't care if it's the middle of Guam, the middle of an island with zombies all around it, I am going there to play. Matt Rhule, Deion Sanders. Somebody like a
Deion Sanders is already an elite coach.
No, that's
no, and I don't think Auburn should have hired him.
Name brand.
But
here's my
Nebraska's
point.
in a different situation.
Here's my point. Matt Rhule has done a good job of putting lipstick on a pig. He did it at Temple. He did it at Baylor. We're going to keep seeing how Dave Aranda is going to do after the good year that they had. He's been there long enough for us to have some, theories on how it's going to go for them. But when it comes to Matt Rhule at Nebraska, Matt Rhule will do a good job from an accountability standpoint. They'll be sound schematically. They'll make good decisions. They'll manage the clock well. But is Matt Rhule going to get the guys at Nebraska that is going to be able to win the Big Ten? Is he going to be able to get the players consistently to be able to win the big games that he's played in? Go back to Baylor. How many ranked teams did he beat?
None, I don't think.
Not one.
Nope.
Not one. Okay, go back to Temple. He did have a ranked win. I think he had one ranked win in his second year. There wasn't a ton there. That's not to discredit the job that he did at Temple or Baylor. But let's not act like he slayed a bunch of dragons when he really slayed a bunch of Komodo dragons. There's a big difference between a dragon that's flying around the House of Targaryen and the one that you see running around in Cancun, Mexico by the hotel. So while Matt Rhule is a good coach, I think Nebraska needed a guy that was going to attract recruits there right off the rip, that can get big-time players there, not just, 4-star here, 4-star there. We're gonna do it the old Nebraska way and do it just with accountability, this, that, and the other. You need that. You need culture, but you need big-time players. I don't think Nebraska got a guy that is going to turn them into what they think they are and what they think they deserve to be and what the standard is there. I think Luke Fickell can do it because I've seen him do it.
I agree with you. Matt Rhule will do a better job than Scott Frost did at Nebraska. That's not saying a lot,
but that's not what they want.
Because it has been bad. Yeah. He's 47-43, Matt Rhule is, as a head coach. Nebraska was in a unique position that they could really take a chance because things have been so bad there. In a way that if Auburn goes and hires someone like Deion Sanders or Wisconsin hires him or even Urban Meyer, that they're not in a position where they need to do something like that. I feel like Nebraska needed to take a bigger chance to go get someone who can actually turn around the program to be a top 10 win team that they are. They're an all-time top 10 win program.
Yeah.
And they're in a unique position where they've been down for so long, they could make an outside the box hire. I don't see Matt Rhule coming in and winning the Big Ten there.
No, I don't see Nebraska winning the Big Ten at all. Wisconsin will win the Big Ten before Nebraska wins the Big Ten, in my opinion. And I would not be shocked if you saw, with what we have in the transfer portal now, if you saw Wisconsin win the Big Ten West next year. I would not be shocked. But seeing where Jim Leonhard goes is fascinating to me. That's what I'm going to keep my eye on.
Whereas if the news broke that Urban Meyer was the head coach at Nebraska, what would you say?
They're back. They're back.
I think they could win the Big Ten in 3 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Again, say what you want about Urban Meyer, and believe me, people will. But he has won everywhere he's gone outside of the NFL. And I know another guy that's won everywhere he's gone outside of the NFL, and he's in Tuscaloosa right now. So I think they needed, and I'm not saying Deion Sanders is an elite. We don't know yet with Deion Sanders. Okay, but guess what I know? Guess what I know? Guess what okay, but not at that level. You're going to compare what Matt Rhule's done at 47-43.
No, not to Urban Meyer, Nick Saban.
Well,
that's not what I'm saying.
That's what we were
but the guy still won. Won college, did bad in the NFL, and won in college, did bad in the NFL, and came back.
Yes, but okay, if he goes 47-43 in Nebraska, they're going to fire him.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, that's just the...
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fine, but he was having upcoming teams, right? Like, what has he done? Only got teams better. That's all he's done when he's coached.
Nobody is arguing that. That's not what we're arguing. What we're saying is we haven't seen Matt Rhule win big games consistently. And again, at Temple, the schedule's a little bit different.
Tough.
When he was at Baylor in the Big 12, that conference was I would say it's a lot deeper now than it was then. We're going to find out in the Big 10. Now, that's not saying he won't beat Rutgers. That's not saying he won't beat Indiana. It's not saying he won't beat Michigan State when they're down. But is he going to be able to go toe-to-toe consistently or at all with Ohio State, with Michigan? Now, Wisconsin's got Luke Fickell. Penn State and James Franklin, what they're doing. Illinois with Brett Bielema is getting more interesting by the day. Northwestern's a dumpster fire. Indiana goes up and down like a bobber in a lake full of brim. But we're about to find out with Matt Rhule. I just think it's a safer bet with Luke Fickell at a place like Wisconsin that meets his identity, that meets his mindset, than it is Matt Rhule at Nebraska. But we'll see. That's why they play the games. All right, hey, everybody, do us a favor. Go down there, hit that like button on all the videos, and subscribe as well. We put out a ton of content. You can check us out at the Daily Wire Plus, too. It's all day. College basketball's upon us. NBA's upon us. NFL, we're racing toward the playoffs. College football, we're racing toward the playoffs. The USA's got to beat Iran. We'll see what happens. Make sure you check it out.